How's it going, YouTube? Just gonna be bringing you guys another video. This one's gonna be on my 30 gallon. Now, by the title of this video, it's gonna say the perfect community aquarium. I mean that in the sense that there is literally so many different kinds of fish in here that shouldn't be together, but somehow they've been living together just fine. This is the same 30 gallon I've had on my channel for a while. It's changed a whole lot. Been through different phases, cichlid tanks, breeder tank, had some tropical fish in here as well. That's pretty much about it. But now it's got a whole variety of fish. We can just dive right into it. So first off, I have cory catfish. There's about 6 of these guys, 3 of the regular green kind like this. This is probably the biggest one, and then here's one of the ones I've had for, I want to say, like 4 or 5 years almost. He's pretty old. And then yeah, that's his, I believe that's the female right there. They used to lay eggs. I think they're both females actually, but this one used to lay eggs all the time, and they'd never get fertilized, so I'd assume that that one's not a male. But there's a lot in here, so maybe they could. But there's like goldfish and stuff too, so I don't know. I feel like the goldfish are just gonna eat the eggs. So there's 1, 2, 3 of the regular greens. There's a albino. He's doing pretty good there. There is a jewel right back there. He's probably one of my favorites. And then there's a peppered back here. Kind of went back behind the rocks and stuff. So that's pretty much it for the catfish. I do have another catfish in my bigger tank, but he's kind of on the smaller side. I've been thinking about putting him in here. He's only about that big, but then again, you know, that big fish in here is quite big because it's catfish, and catfish are fat and they take up a lot of room. So we'll see if I can get that going. You may have noticed there's a little Oscar. That's why I called this the perfect aquarium. There are tropical fish, the corys, that one, the barb, there's a few other ones. And then there are cichlids, like the Oscar back there. And there's also a polypterus down there. So there's a couple monster fish in here, or mini monster fish that will become monsters later. And then there's also goldfish as well. But here's my little Oscar. He's only in here because he was a really small baby when I first put him in here. I want to say he's probably about the size of the snail back there when I first put him in, which is very tiny. So probably just about the size of his tail there. That's how big he was. So this kind of grow out tank for him, because my bigger tank, he kind of just gets swallowed up. He's getting to a size now where he's pretty good. He can probably go in, but I want to wait just even longer because he's just so small. I'm afraid he's gonna get picked on by my Jack Dempsey. He may not get eaten by the Jack Dempsey, but he will get picked on by the Jack Dempsey. So I need him to get a little bit bigger and get a little bit of aggression on him, because as you can see, he's been living in here for, I want to say, about a month or so, and he showed no signs of aggression yet. Which is actually one thing I'm waiting for, because once he shows those signs of aggression, it means he's starting to mature and he can almost hold his own in the bigger tank. But he has literally showed no signs of aggression yet, doesn't nip any fins, doesn't do anything like that. The actually only one that nips fins is this guy back here. This is my rainbow shark. He's pretty good. He may have been in another video, but he was really small back then. But he's the only one that nips fins. You can kind of see on this goldfish here, they kind of get nip fins. That's the only bad thing about the perfect aquarium. He likes to nip fins. What else do we have in here? So I guess we can go to the goldfish. I have 2 regular like feeder goldfish that I've gotten a little bit bigger. They're around 3 to 4 inches. I just kind of got them when I got this bigger goldfish and just threw them in here. I can't remember if I used them to cycle a tank or not. I may have just gotten them at random. But I really don't know what I'm going to do with them. They're not going to stay in here forever, because to me, I like cool fish. And I know it sounds bad and everything, but I think I'm just gonna feed them to my bigger fish because they don't have a use for me. They're just kind of swimming around in this tank. They are big enough so they won't get eaten right now in the bigger tank, so they may survive for a long time. But they were feeder fish in the beginning, so they're not really wanted in this tank. Now we can go to my cool goldfish. So this is a fantail, the bigger gold one. He's probably the biggest fish in here. He's around 5 inches. Really cool looking guy. He's pretty fat too. I want to say he's about like 1 inch across or so. And then we got a new addition. This is my little oranda goldfish, red top oranda. He's gonna look really cool. I got him because he was white, and I don't know, looks like a platinum white fish or something. Look pretty cool. I can't wait till he gets bigger, because like on these kind of goldfish, unlike the fantail, their tails get like ginormous, like way bigger, almost double the size of the body, versus the fantail where the tail is just about the size of the body. So that would be a really cool sight to see. Like I said, the Oscar shows no signs of aggression, swimming all the time with them. And I'll feed him here in a second too as well. Right here we have my tiger barb. I used to have a lot more of these. I had a whole school of them, about 4 or 5 of them, but they kind of killed each other off. I think one of them got a fungus disease, and that was that. So I was just left with one. What else do we have in here? We've got my little... Oh, I went back there. There he is. There's my little Senegal Bashir. He's doing pretty good. He's grown quite a bit. He's only been in here for the same amount of time as the Oscar. It's the same story. He's too small to go in the bigger tank, so he needs to grow out in here first. He's actually going to take a long time before he gets to the size where he needs to be. He needs to be at least like 6 to 7 inches long so he doesn't get eaten. And right now he's only at about 2.5, 3. So he definitely needs to get bigger for that. There's some more fish in there. I think I've counted there's about 20 or so fish in here. Like I said, there's the rainbow. Back there's a pleco. It's a Rhino pleco. He's about 6 inches. He's doing pretty good. I think I'm gonna take this pleco out whenever I move the Oscar over. I'm gonna move him over to my big tank so he can grow out in there. And then I wanted to get a royal pleco for this tank because I saw one at my local fish store and they just look so cool, so cool. And then back there I have 2 mystery snails. Just kind of keep the glass and tank clean of algae. There is a little bit of algae, but I kind of like it just because it gives everything a more natural look. You can kind of see there it kind of waves in the water. It's really cool. Some people don't like it because they say it looks dirty. Me personally, I kind of like it. I don't like it when literally everything gets covered in algae. Most of the time it means your water quality is bad. But I do water changes on this once a week at about 30%, and then every 2 weeks I do about 50%, and then clean out the filters. Never clean out the filters with tap water, always tank water, blah blah blah. I want to make sure I'm done showing fish before I show the filters and light and stuff. Geez, you can kind of see the pleco back there moving around, disrupting the snails and stuff. He's a really nice looking one though. Gosh, I wish he would come out. I'm gonna have to feed him here in a second. That's what I'll do. Then they should come out. But he's really cool. I got this nice piece of driftwood back there. There's some algae growing up there. Some algae growing. This tank's been established for like basically the whole time I've been in the aquarium hobby and the whole time I've been on YouTube. So like 4 years, maybe 5 years. So this is a pretty old tank that's been well established. I believe there might be a Kuhli, black Kuhli loach. I think that's how you say it. It's like one of those little brown loaches. They're about that big or so. He's just in there. He looks kind of like an eel or something. Almost looks like the Bashir. Hopefully the Bashir didn't eat him. I haven't seen him for a while, but the dude's just like a mystery fish. I'll see him maybe once a year, honestly, and then he'll just pop back up the next year, and I'll just see him swimming around looking for food. Very weird kind of fish, but kind of cool. I like it. So I've been looking around. I can't see any more fish, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that that's all the fish in here. We may see more when I feed them. I can show you what I have in the filters if there's any light back here. So this is a National Geographic Eheim, technically, power filter. This is a 30-gallon power filter. It just has the regular sponges in the first slot, and then on the second slots it's got a that like fine, real fine filter media stuff. Kind of keeps the water clear, like a polishing pad, I believe. And then this is a BioWheel 350. And as you guys know, I like to overfilter my tank. So this one does about, I believe, 150 to 200 gallons per hour. This one does 350 gallons per hour. So you add those together, we'll say that one does 200, that one does 350. So about 550 gallons of water movement per hour. So that's cycling the tank more than 10 times per hour, which is great. I love that. And then we go back down here. So in there I just have a sponge. I don't use any chemical media, like no carbon or anything, just because I don't really believe in it. My tanks, they don't stink. As you can see, this one is perfectly clear. You can even look through the side there. You can see all the way through it, see all the fish on the other side. Just looks absolutely great. This is honestly one of my favorite tanks just because all the fish are always out and swimming. There's so many fish to look at. Even if the fish you want to see isn't there, there's about a million other fish that you can look at to see. And it's just like one of my favorite ones. It's just always so active. And plus this is the tank that's in my room, so I get to look at it the most. But this is my favorite one. I love the aquascape on it. Even though nothing is real, I guess the driftwood would be real. But even though nothing is real, it just looks so good with all the algae on it and everything. Makes everything look so realistic. And no, the algae growth isn't because I leave the lights on too long. The lights are only on for about 10 hours a day, and then they get turned off. There is a window right here, so maybe it could be coming through that sheet. I highly doubt it though. I just think it's just an old, well-established tank. I love it though. Looks so good. Up top I have a National Geographic 30-inch light. It's just an LED one. It's got like 2 tubes, and then that you can kind of see the blue there. And tell me what you guys think of this tank. This is probably one of my favorite ones. Even though I love the big fish, this one is just one of my favorite because there's so many fish to look at and it's just so active all the time. Future plans for this tank. I think I'm going to, like I said, get rid of the goldfish. We're going to take the Oscars out, or Oscar I should say. We're going to get the Bashir out, and then this tank will clear up a little bit. I was planning on getting 2 angels and some other smaller fish. Maybe more barbs to go with the school, or maybe another kind of schooling fish. But just something else to get in here. Now I've been keeping fish for quite a while. I know what fish can go together. I know how many fish I can put into a tank. And some people may say that's overstocking it. To me, I don't really think so. I've been keeping fish for actually over 10 years now. Almost 11, maybe 12 years. Which is actually quite a long time considering my age. I'm not even 20 years old yet. Now, I think there's probably gonna be, again, 20 fish in here whenever I restock it again and get rid of the old grow out ones. And that'll be really, really cool. I'm just loving this tank right now. It just looks so great. But I'm gonna go ahead and feed them for you guys, and then we'll close out the video. Let's see if I can somehow manage to grab the food without dropping the camera. So I can show you guys what I feed them. Usually I feed them a varied diet every single day. They get a little bit of flakes here. I'll just grab a little bunch. And again, some people may say that I'm overfeeding. You can kind of see how many flakes go in there. So that's just the first batch, but as you can see, all the food will be gone within about 2 minutes. Which is just nuts by these fish here. I mean, there's just so many in here that you can kind of see the pleco coming out. So that should be good for the flakes. They're just kind of float around there. Usually the goldfish, some of the cories, the rainbow shark, and what else? That barb right there. Usually those are the ones that are going to eat the flakes. The goldfish pretty much eat anything. They love food. They eat anything and everything that comes their way, especially this guy. He's basically just like a bull. He just runs into things, finds food. You'll kind of see here in a second when he really starts to eat and there's food getting buried into the rocks and stuff. He just like digs his face into the rocks and looks for food and stuff, and almost like a torpedo kind of just digging through there. You can kind of see all the fish. There's the pleco coming out now. It's a really nice looking pleco. Just needs to get bigger. So I just threw in some fluval bug bites. It's the goldfish formula. Really love this stuff. One complaint though, my goldfish are at a size where they can't really see this anymore. So it's almost for the smaller cories and stuff. I mean, this can be used as tropical food, goldfish food, pretty much anything. But the goldfish are so big and the rounds are so big, they almost kind of miss this. So if fluval makes a bigger bug bites food like this, let me know. These pellets are too small. Now I'm gonna put in a little bit of this aquarium shrimp pellets. The cories, actually pretty much all the fish love this. The Oscar really seems to love this. I'm gonna have to set the camera down for this one. The Oscar seems to love this. The goldfish love it. The cories love it. The Bashir loves these really. That's his main diet, is the shrimp pellets for the Bashir. I've been trying to figure out something else to feed him. He doesn't accept flakes, and he doesn't really want to go up to the top to get the pellet. So I'm kind of stuck with just feeding the sinking pellets. And as you can see here, he's searching around. We'll see if we'll be able to find one. I didn't really watch them to see where they landed. Usually I do, just so I can make sure he gets one. Oh, there's the Oscar coming through. There's the goldfish. But they're all just really cool fish. They all love to eat. Like I said, as you can see, almost all the food is gone within about 2 minutes. So I think I'm going to have to put a little bit more. And there still is a little bit on the driftwood. The cories will come over and get that, so will the goldfish as well. That's why I'm not too worried about like uneaten food or overfeeding. There's about 20 or so fish in here. They're always hungry. They're always eating. So I feed them plenty, and then they always look hungry afterwards anyways, which is always something funny to me. But you're just gonna see them swim around looking for the food or go eating. I do have more tanks to show you guys. I have actually some lizards as well. So comment, like, subscribe. Let me know if you guys want to see that. And we're just gonna close out this video with you guys just enjoying the nice aquarium.